The Scarlett Files, Episode 17, The Hole to Everywhere.
Begin BC Trials, Group 1 out of 28. Next. Next. Next.
The story of Item 005 is, in essence, the story of Scarlett Laboratories. On October 13, 2049, the Gaian Federation Research Division was investigating the native plant life on the fourth moon of the planet Hyperion, in the Argus system, a habitable moon which was discovered during the first wave of expansion in the early 2020s. During a routine drone sweep, the scientists discovered a cave within the Oppenheimer-Teller Massif. Inside the cave held something never before discovered: a perfect, non-reflective circle on the cave floor. Spectral scans revealed that this formation had a depth of at least redacted kilometers, at least 14 times the diameter of the moon itself. For this reason, the moon, later named Yumara, was quarantined, and the surrounding system of Argus was scrubbed from all public slip maps. Item 005, along with other anomalies found throughout the years, have only reinforced the nickname given to Yumara, the Haunted Moon. For a further 2 decades, the Argus system was quarantined, but the potential of Item 005, at the time known as the Argus Spatial Anomaly, was too great to be ignored. In 2070, amidst increasing ESF attacks, Federation High Command initiated the Scarlett Protocol, handing off research and funding to house a black site research facility around Item 005. This was the creation of Alpha Facility. Item 005 is a hole running through the bedrock of the Oppenheimer-Teller Massif, the mountain range that Alpha Facility was built upon and, in certain aspects, built around. Its physical depth is unknown and presumed to be functionally infinite. All camera recording or photography devices have shorted out and failed upon crossing a threshold of 247 meters into the hole. Any attempts to digitally measure its depth have returned an error message. The first breakthrough in the understanding of Item 005 came in 2074, with the arrival of the first artificial biologicals, colloquially referred to as the Bejo clones. The controversial B-Team trials were initiated. Dozens of Bejo clones wielding experimental long-range slip tracking devices were sent into the hole. Approximately 79% of the experimental trackers failed upon crossing the 247-meter threshold, but the few that survived told an interesting story. Each surviving tracker transmitted for only a few seconds before failing, but each reported a wildly different location. One pinged from Earth, in the radioactive ruins of Quebec, Canada. Another from the corrosive methane oceans of the planet Jorzion, in the Tau Ceti system. A third reported from the empty void of interstellar space, several light-years from Argus. The rest of the surviving trackers reported from random points in deep space. This confirmed one key fact about Item 005. Any object or person that entered it was transported to a random point in the Milky Way. This phenomenon was catalogued and labeled as Random Transportation Phenomena, or RTP. There have been several theories regarding the nature of RTP and Item 005 proposed by Alpha Facility staff, such as a natural wormhole, a quantum tunnel, a natural slip drive rupture, an artificial structure, a biological organ, and a large hole. The final report, submitted by Ethan Kessler, was rejected for being too literal. Due to the immense risk to personnel, the loss of valuable equipment, and a possible breach of secrecy, Director Braden Williams suspended official testing in 2076. The anomaly was reclassified, and a permanent passive study into its potential use as a last-ditch emergency exit was authorized under his direct oversight. Scarlett personnel interested in testing the anomaly would do so at their own risk, and with their own budget. Despite the passive study, over the years, Alpha Facility personnel have reported several unexplained phenomena surrounding Item-005. Tools and devices left near 005 would occasionally vanish without explanation. Several clones undergoing routine maintenance in Item-005's chamber have reported distant humming emanating from the anomaly. And on one occasion, a standard issue Scarlett coffee mug was dropped into the anomaly in 2075 and was recovered 3 months later, in Light Containment Chamber 2, still containing its contents. For a time, the hole would remain the way it was, a silent, one-way wormhole. However, on October 28, 2077, at 3:27 a.m. local Yamara time, Item-005 exhibited behavior never before recorded. Instead of allowing something to enter, it allowed something to exit. This event, later known as the Marie ejection, named after the scientist who arrived first at the site, was the first known instance of an object leaving the hole, and despite research into Item-005 in the weeks following, no plausible solution to the ejection could be uncovered. However, analysis of the ejected fragment revealed several key facts. The composition of the multi-alloy plating was a perfect match for the reinforced hull of the Gaian Space Navy Prowler-class frigate. Stenciled on the interior of the fragment was a partial serial number, linking to the fragment's owner. The fragment was from the GSN Prowler Frontier Pathfinder, one of the ships that was escorting the Scarlett Laboratories science ship Arantine during its routine retrieval mission. This was the first concrete evidence that the convoy's disappearance was not a slip drive accident, but the result of a violent hostile engagement. The loss of a GSN frigate and a high-value Scarlett transport pointed to a catastrophic intelligence failure, adding immense pressure to a facility already on high alert. In the midst of this escalating crisis, Director Williams' own separate, ongoing investigation into corruption within the GSN was also reaching its conclusion. Just weeks later, these parallel threats would lead him to the GSN Dark Valley, in a confrontation with Colonel Daniel Price. End log.